Yo, what's up everybody? Today we're going to Africa, but not the Africa you see on those nature documentaries with lions chasing gazelles. We're going to a place called Guinea-Bissau. It's this small country on the west coast, tucked in between Senegal and Guinea. Think of it like the middle child of West Africa, often forgotten but with its own unique story to tell. Guinea-Bissau is a land of lush rainforests, mangrove swamps and beautiful beaches. It's the kind of place where you can chill on the coast, listen to the waves and sip on some bissap juice. Sounds idyllic, right? Well, hold your horses. Like many countries with a history as rich as its soil, Guinea-Bissau has seen its fair share of drama. From ancient empires to European colonization, from a fierce struggle for independence to decades of political turbulence, Guinea-Bissau has been through a lot. But through it all, the people have remained resilient, their culture vibrant, and their spirit unbroken. So buckle up, folks, as we take a trip through time to discover the fascinating story of Guinea-Bissau. It's going to be a wild ride. Now, before those Portuguese explorers rocked up with their ships and their interesting fashion choices, Guinea-Bissau wasn't just chilling, waiting for someone to claim it. Oh no, my friends. This land was already bumping with life, culture, and some pretty impressive kingdoms. We're talking about ancient empires like the Kabu and Mali empires. These guys were the real deal, trading gold, salt, and cola nuts like bosses. They had their own systems of government, their own beliefs, and their own way of life. Think of it as the original Wakanda, but with fewer vibranium mines and more cashew trees. One of the coolest things about pre-colonial Guinea-Bissau was the diversity of its people. We're talking about various ethnic groups, each with its own language, traditions, and stories passed down through generations. You had the Balanta people, known for their agricultural skills. Then there were the Fula people, renowned for their cattle herding and trading prowess. And let's not forget the Mandinka people, known for their music, storytelling, and those smooth kora tunes that'll make you want to get up and dance. It was like a cultural melting pot, simmering with different flavors and influences. But then, everything changed when the Portuguese ships attacked. Well, not attacked exactly. More like, politely requested to set up shop. But we all know how that story usually goes, right? So, picture this, it's the 15th century, and the Portuguese, those adventurous seafarers, are sailing all over the place looking for new lands to, discover. They stumble upon this little slice of paradise called Guinea-Bissau, and they're like, hey, this place is pretty sweet, let's make it ours. And just like that, the era of Portuguese colonization began. Now, let's be real, colonization was rarely a walk in the park. It was more like a forced march through a jungle, with mosquitoes the size of your fist. The Portuguese came in, saw the land's potential for things like peanut farming and unfortunately the slave trade, and decided to exploit it for all it was worth. They imposed their own rules, their own language, and their own way of life, often disregarding the existing cultures and traditions. They even renamed the place Portuguese Guinea because, why bother asking what the locals called it, right? Classic colonial move. But here's the thing about the people of Guinea-Bissau, they're tough cookies. They resisted, they fought back, they held on to their identities and their cultures, even under the most oppressive conditions. And this spirit of resistance would eventually lead to a movement for independence. A movement spearheaded by a man named Amilcar Cabral. Now that's a name you should remember. Section 4. Amilcar Cabral and the fight for freedom. No more Portuguese pastries. Now let's talk about Amilcar Cabral, the OG freedom fighter of Guinea-Bissau. This dude was the real deal. A brilliant strategist, a charismatic leader, and a man who knew how to rock a stylish pair of glasses. Cabral dedicated his life to liberating his people from colonial rule. He was like the Nelson Mandela of Guinea-Bissau, but with maybe a bit more of a taste for guerrilla warfare. Cabral co-founded the African Party for the Independence of Guinea and Cape Verde, PIGC, and said, let's do this thing. They launched an armed struggle against the Portuguese, fighting for their right to self-determination. And let me tell you, these guys didn't mess around. They were like the Avengers of the independence movement, fighting for freedom with every fiber of their being. Cabral's brilliance wasn't just in military tactics. He understood that true liberation meant empowering the people. He focused on education, healthcare, and social equality, even during the struggle. Tragically, Cabral was assassinated in 1973, just a year before Guinea-Bissau finally won its independence. Talk about a gut punch, right? But even though Cabral wasn't there to see it, his vision and sacrifice paved the way for a free Guinea-Bissau. The party was on. Or was it? Section 5 Independence Party over? Not so fast, post-colonial growing pains. So the year is 1974. The Portuguese are packing their bags, the people are dancing in the streets, and Guinea-Bissau is finally free. Cue the confetti. But as we often see in the game of nations, winning independence is like winning the first round of a very long, complicated game show. The hard part was just beginning. You see, building a nation from scratch after centuries of colonial rule is no easy feat. It's like trying to bake a cake after someone just threw the ingredients, the bowl, and the oven mitt at your head. Guinea-Bissau faced a whole buffet of challenges: poverty, lack of infrastructure, and a whole lot of political instability. It's like they went from 0 to 100 real quick, except instead of a sports car, it was more like a used bicycle with a flat tire. Despite the hopes and dreams that came with independence, Guinea-Bissau's political landscape became as bumpy as a ride on a donkey cart. Coups, counter-coups, and political assassinations became sadly common, making it tough for the country to find its footing. Section 6. Coups, Chaos, and Cashews. Guinea-Bissau's turbulent times. Now, let's fast forward a bit. The years following independence were, shall we say, a bit of a roller coaster ride for Guinea-Bissau, and not the fun kind you find at amusement parks. More like the kind that makes you want to hold on tight and pray you don't get thrown off. Political instability became a recurring theme, with coup d'état happening more often than your average reality TV show drama. It got so bad that at one point, Guinea-Bissau was nicknamed the narco state because of drug trafficking that further fueled corruption and instability. Talk about a PR nightmare. But amidst all the chaos, there was one thing Guinea-Bissau had going for it: cashews. Yes, those delicious kidney-shaped nuts became the country's main export, earning it the nickname the Cashew Republic. It was like the entire nation was collectively saying, okay, politics might be a mess, but at least we have cashews. But even cashews couldn't completely mask the underlying issues. Poverty, inequality, and a lack of opportunities continued to plague the nation. It was clear that Guinea-Bissau needed a major reboot, a chance to rewrite its narrative and find a path toward a brighter future. Section 7. Looking ahead, can Guinea-Bissau find its groove? So where does Guinea-Bissau go from here? That's the million-dollar question, or should I say the million cashew question. Despite the challenges, there's a glimmer of hope on the horizon. Recent years have seen some positive developments with efforts to promote peace, stability, and good governance. The international community is also lending a helping hand, supporting economic development and strengthening democratic institutions. It's like the whole world is rooting for Guinea-Bissau to succeed, like a collective "you got this" from the sidelines. Guinea-Bissau has the potential to become a shining example of resilience and progress. With its natural beauty, rich culture, and the determination of its people, this small West African nation might just surprise us all. It's time for Guinea-Bissau to shed its troubled past and step into the spotlight. Who knows, maybe one day we'll be talking about the Guinea-Bissau miracle. Until then, let's raise a glass of Bissap juice, of course, to Guinea-Bissau and its journey toward a brighter future. Cheers to peace, progress, and a whole lot of cashews.